Hello everyone and welcome to my property market briefing for the new year 2020. Well, it's grey and gloomy over Tower Bridge at the moment, but it's certainly not gloomy in the property market. There's great optimism and a certain amount of promise that 2020 is going to be a healthy property market. Now, we're not getting carried away, but I'll share with you what I've seen so far in the first couple of weeks of this year, and it's looking really optimistic. So we're wondering whether this is a Boris blip or a Boris bounce. Everybody's talking about this Boris bounce and that prices are going to go up. I think that that's already happened. Whether it stays up there or not, who knows? But so far, so good. Now, if you're looking at the sort of data sources that are coming out, Rightmove issued a statement earlier this week, which was very helpful and kind of confirmed what we're feeling at branch level. They reported that there was a 2.3% increase in the asking prices of property that had come on since the general election, and that's the biggest rise that's ever been recorded at this time of year. Now, I stress that's asking prices and not sale prices. What else do they say? There's certainly an increased optimism, releasing a pent-up demand that sort of dates way back to 2014, 2015, as would-be buyers judged that the election result gives a window of stability. And that's what we really need. A stable government creates stable markets, and that's what has been lacking for the last 3 years. There's been over 1.3 million buyer inquiries via Rightmove, and that's up 15% compared to the same period a year ago. So really hard data to suggest that certainly the opportunity is there to trade in the sales market. There's been a 7.4% growth in the number of sales agreed as early birds act quickly since the general election. So it's still a price sensitive market. I can't stress that enough. There's been pent-up demand, and I feel as though buyers are coming off the fence and committing. They themselves appreciate that probably the bottom of the market is behind them now, and that this is as good as it's going to get. And I speculated that in my briefing to you at the latter part of last year. I felt as though if we hadn't reached the bottom, then we were pretty close to it, and now I definitely feel that it's behind us. But I think sellers need to keep their feet on the ground, as do we agents, because there's been a pent-up demand from buyers, but there's also been pent-up supply as well, as sellers just haven't been sure as to what to do, when to sell, should they sell, are they going to get the right price? And we've received pretty much equal inquiries from would-be sellers as would-be buyers. So demand is rising with supply, and that's going to keep a lid on prices. Which is why I feel as though there's no point in waiting for prices to rise further. I think the result of the general election pretty much created an instant bounce upwards, and I would measure that at around about 2 to 3%. So not huge increases, but certainly a bounce upwards and a massive dose of confidence for the property market. And over the course of the next couple of months, as we enter the busy spring market, I think confidence amongst buyers and sellers is going to be very equal, and that is what the market needs. We need that balance, we need that equilibrium. The rental market is still really strong. Demand is up. We'd expect that at this time of the year, but stock is very short in supply. There's a good number of tenants that are renewing their contracts and staying put, which means that there's very little for the increased number of tenants out there to look at. Demand was so strong this Saturday that we actually had to do open houses at each of our rental listings just to cope efficiently with the number of people that wanted to see them. So if you're a landlord and you're struggling to find a tenant, then for heaven's sake, talk to us. My team and I are really excited about 2020. We think that our modern marketing and a better market are going to really help us succeed for our clients this year. So if you're not with us already and you're looking for a good agent, then please do get in touch. Meanwhile, here's to 2020.